Welcome back students to the video lecture series. I am Adil Mansoori from Civil Engineering Department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. So dear students, in the previous video we discussed about the estimation of water demand, that is how the quantity of water required by the community is estimated. Then we discussed about the per capita demand, then discussed about the factors affecting rate of demand, and also discussed regarding the variation in rate of demand. So let us now start with the next topic, that is the design period. Okay, so we as a civil engineer are responsible for constructing different amenities. For example, water supply scheme or wastewater supply scheme, wastewater treatment scheme, or even the construction of different houses or buildings, right? So we usually utilize the public money, right? So it is a responsibility of us, that is the civil engineers, to judiciously use the money in of the public, right? And we should take care that if we design a particular water treatment plant or a wastewater treatment plant, then it should have certain future scopes, that is for even the expansion. Okay, so talking about the design period, the future period or number of years for which provision is made in designing the capacities of various components of the water supply scheme is known as the design period. Factors affecting design periods are useful life of the components, availability of finance, interest rates, rate of population growth, and ease of expansion, right? So talking about the availability of finance, if finance is available, then we can design a water treatment plant of a quite a higher capacity. Then talking about the interest rates, if the rate of interest of the money lending is less, then we can go for a higher construction period, and as a result we can go for a higher design or higher capacity of water supply scheme, right? Then rate of population growth we need to take into consideration, because population is not going to remain constant, right? It will go on increasing, right? Hence suppose for example, if you are planning today considering the current population, then you have to take into consideration that since the design period of treatment plant is around 25 to 30 years, then after 25 to 30 years what will be the population, right? And hence what will be the quantity of water to be treated. So rate of population growth also has to be taken into consideration, and uh, thus ease of expansion, right? So once the population of the future we or increase in population we know, then we can easily construct the different treatment units. Okay, let's talk about a different design period of different units. That is, first is storage by dams, that is 50 years. Hence dams are constructed for the design life of 50 years. Infiltration work 30 years. Pump house have a life of 30 years. Motors and pumps have life of 15 years. Water treatment units have 15 years. Pipe connections and appurtenances have 30 years of life. Water conveying units have 30 years of life. Clear water reservoir and service reservoir have, and even balancing reservoir have 15 years of life. Distribution system 30 years, right? So these are the different design period of different units. Let's talk about collection of water. So in any water supply project, the first step is to select the source of water from which water is drawn, right? Hence the device which is installed for the purpose of drawing water from the source of water are called intake structures. So what is intake structures? So the intake structures are the structures used for collecting the water from the surface sources. And the main function of the intake structures is that to help in safely withdrawing water from the source and then discharge to the water treatment plant. Okay. What are the various factors governing the location of intake structures? So first is the season, right? So as we all know that there are different sources, right? Surface sources, for example, lakes, rivers, canals, reservoirs, right? So season plays an important role because we all know that in India during summer season certain water bodies become or goes dry, right? That is, for example, if the river is not perennial, then those non-perennial rivers will be empty during the summer season. So if you are withdrawing water from a particular river, then you should take into consideration season, that is the weather in winter or summer or even in monsoon season. The water should be available to be withdrawn from those sources, right? For example, rivers, right? Next is the cost, right? The we should take care that the cost of intake structure construction and conveyance cost from the intake structure to the water treatment plant should be as less as possible. Then the quality of water. So the source in which you are constructing the intake structure should have a good quality of water so that it will reduce the load of purification in the water treatment plant. If the quality of water which is withdrawn from these surface sources has lots of impurities, then there will be a frequent maintenance that will be done on in the water treatment units. Preference with respect to wastewater disposal. So talking about the wastewater disposal, so as we all know that once the wastewater is treated in the wastewater treatment plant, the water is then disposed into the water bodies, right? Hence if you are taking or withdrawing the water from the water bodies in which the wastewater is also disposed, then the water should be withdrawn from the upstream side of the point of disposal of the wastewater, right? Or what you should do is you should construct a weir on the upstream side of the point of disposal of the wastewater, and hence the water should be withdrawn from the upstream side of that weir, right? Or what will happen is you will, if the intake structure is constructed on the downstream side of the point of disposal of wastewater, then the water that you will be withdrawing will be full of contamination or full of impurities, so it will be contaminated water. Talking about the future scope, so if you are constructing the intake structure for considering the current population which will withdraw say x million liters per day, then what you should do is you should also consider the future scope, that is in future the population will increase. Hence what will happen is that the quantity of water which you are withdrawing, that is x million liters, will be quite more in future. So you should take into consideration that if the population is increased, then the water that will be available from the intake structure will suffice the future population's need. Okay. Talking about the navigation channel, so navigation channel is the channel or the water body in which the ships or boats are moving, right? So it is not advisable from to withdraw, it is not advisable to withdraw the water from those navigation channels, as waste from the boats and ships will be dumped into the water bodies, right? Next, floods. So in case of floods, you should be easily accessing, or the accessibility of the intake structure should be easy in case of floods, right? Then for the maintenance of purpose. Okay. Talking about the water currents, the intake structure should not be constructed at a point where there are high water currents, or it will deteriorate the structure. Clear? Let's talk about the classification of intake structures. So, intake structures are mainly classified based on type of source, which are in river intake, canal intake, reservoir intake, and lake intake. Second one is the based on the position of intake. So, it is submerged intake or exposed intake. And the third one is based on presence of water in tower, that is the dry intake and the wet intake. Okay, so let's now talk about the river intake. So as you can all see, this is the structure of the river intake. Okay, so I will write over here that it is a intake structure, or it is also known as intake well. Okay, now as you can see, this is the full supply level. Okay, so it is the point where the water is the maximum level. Okay, you can see that there are some entry ports. This is also an entry port, and this is also an entry port. These entry ports are known as penstocks. What it is known as? It is known as penstocks. Okay. Then there are two different penstocks, right? That is, during monsoon season, when the water is running at full supply level, then the water can be taken from this particular pot, right? But when there is a summer season, then the water level in the river will reduce, right? And this level is known as the lowest water level. Okay, so one penstock is provided below the lowest water level, so that even in the driest period or even in the summer season, the water can be withdrawn from the river. Okay, so this is valve control system. Okay, this is a suction pipe. Okay, now here these are the penstocks, so water will enter through the penstocks, so it might contain some floating particles. So here we are providing a screen here itself, so that all the floating particles will be filtered over here only. Okay, then this is the pump. Okay, and this particular place is known as pump house, and from here the water is supplied to water treatment plant. Okay, so this is the structure of river intake. Okay, so here this is the foundation. Okay, and this is the river bed. Clear? So this is how the river intake structure is. Let's talk about the lake intake. So in case of lake, the intake structure is provided at the bottom. So you can see that this is the cast iron grating. Okay, for removal of floating particles. This is planking. Okay, and this is rock filling. This is the water level, and water will be withdrawn from this intake structure, and it will supply it to water treatment plant. Okay, so this is the layout of lake intake structure. Let's talk about canal intake structure. So you can see, as we all know, that this will be full supply level, okay, and the opening is provided below this particular, this is the lowest water level, okay. So below the lowest water level the opening is provided here. This is the screen, right? So screen is like this usually, right? There are bars, okay. So there will be spacing between the bars, clear. So water will be entering through this screen and entering this particular intake structure, right? This is the canal bed, okay. Here this is the support system, okay. Once the water enters the intake structure through the screen, it is filtered through the fine screen, or this is also known as bell mouth entry, okay. This is the conduit, okay, and this is the valve. So this is valve control system, okay. So as we all know that canal is like this, right? So structure is constructed over here like this, you can see, right? This is the embankment. Clear? I hope you must have got the idea about the canal intake structure. So dear students, this is the picture of river intake, you can see, right? This is river intake, okay, and this is the access bridge, so that the person can go here for inspection, okay. This is the bell mouth entry or submerged intake, reservoir intake. This is the dry intake. This is again the reservoir intake, right? You can see this is the dam, okay, and this is the canal intake, okay. So this is the slant height, okay. This is the canal intake. Okay students, so that's all for today's video. We will discuss some new topics in the next video.